When life becomes heavy and the future feels uncertain, worry often arrives quietly and then grows loud in our minds. Hard times have a way of convincing us that peace is something we must wait for, something that will only return once circumstances improve. Yet the deeper truth is this: peace does not depend on life becoming easy. It depends on how we meet life as it is. Worry is the mind's habit of traveling into a future that has not yet arrived. It imagines outcomes, repeats fears, and asks questions that have no answers. In difficult periods, this habit becomes stronger because the mind believes that worrying is a form of protection. But worry does not protect us. It drains the energy we need to face the present moment with clarity and strength. One of the most grounding teachings is the understanding that suffering increases when we resist reality. Hard times are painful on their own, but when we add thoughts like "this shouldn't be happening" or "I cannot handle this," the pain multiplies. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means recognizing what is already here without fighting it. When we stop arguing with reality, the heart softens and worry loses some of its power. Another gentle teaching reminds us that everything is impermanent. No emotion, no situation, no hardship stays forever. When we are in the middle of a storm, it feels endless, but history shows us otherwise. We have survived difficult days before, even when we thought we would not. Remembering impermanence does not deny pain, it places it in perspective. This moment is not your whole life, it is only a chapter. Worry also grows when we believe we must control everything. In hard times, the desire for control becomes desperate, yet much of life lies beyond our control. Peace begins when we learn to separate what we can influence from what we cannot. We can choose our actions, our effort, and our attitude. We cannot control outcomes, other people, or the past. Letting go of what we cannot. Change is not weakness, it is wisdom. The practice of returning to the present moment is one of the most powerful ways to reduce worry. The present moment is often far kinder than the stories our minds create. Right now, you are breathing. Right now, you are still here. Right now, there is something solid beneath your feet. When worry pulls you into imagined futures, gently bring your attention back to what is real and immediate. This simple act can calm the mind more than any solution ever could. Compassion, especially towards yourself, is essential in hard times. Many people become their own harshest critics when life is difficult. They blame themselves for feeling afraid or overwhelmed. But suffering is not a personal failure. It is part of being human. Speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a close friend. A gentle mind heals faster than a cruel one. Finally, remember that hardship can deepen wisdom. Difficult times strip away illusions and reveal what truly matters. They teach patience, humility, and resilience. When worry arises, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this teaching me about how to live?" This shift does not remove pain, but it gives pain meaning. To worry less in hard times is not to eliminate fear completely. It is to stop letting fear rule your inner world. By accepting reality, trusting impermanence, releasing control, returning to the present, and practicing compassion, you create space for calm even when life feels unstable. The world may still shake around you, but within you something can remain steady, quiet, and strong. Worry is the mind's habit of imagining outcomes that have not yet happened, draining energy needed for the present moment. When life enters a difficult season, worry often feels unavoidable. It creeps into the mind late at night, repeats itself during quiet moments, and turns small uncertainties into heavy fears. In hard times, the mind tries to protect us by constantly thinking ahead, but instead of bringing safety, this habit creates exhaustion. The heart becomes tense, and peace feels distant. Yet even in these moments, there is a path that leads to calm, not by changing the world outside, but by understanding the world within. Worry is born when the mind leaves the present moment. It travels into an imagined future and begins to ask questions that cannot yet be answered. What if things get worse? What if I fail? What if I lose what I love? These thoughts feel urgent, but they are only stories. The future has not arrived, yet the body reacts as if the danger is already real. Learning to notice this habit is the first step toward freedom. When you see that worry is a mental activity rather than a fact, its grip begins to loosen. Hard times become heavier when we resist them. Pain is a natural part of life, but resistance adds an extra layer of suffering. Thoughts such as, "This should not be happening," or "I cannot accept this," create inner conflict. Acceptance does not mean liking the situation or giving up effort. It means acknowledging what is present without fighting it. When the mind stops arguing with reality, energy is saved and clarity returns. From this place, wiser decisions naturally follow. Another calming truth is that nothing stays the same forever. Every situation, no matter how painful, is temporary. When we are overwhelmed, the mind tells us that the suffering will never end, but this is an illusion. Life moves in cycles, emotions rise and fall, circumstances shift, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly. Remembering impermanence brings light into dark moments. It reminds us that today's burden is not our lifelong identity. This understanding creates patience and softens fear. Worry also grows from the desire to control outcomes. In uncertain times, the mind desperately seeks guarantees. It wants certainty in a world that offers none. Much of life is beyond personal control, and struggling against this truth leads to frustration. Peace begins when we clearly see what lies within our influence and what does not. We can choose how we act, how we speak, and how we treat others. We can choose effort and intention. Outcomes, however, are shaped by many forces. Letting go of this need to control does not make us passive, it makes us grounded. The present moment is often far safer than the mind suggests. When attention returns to what is happening right now, worry loses strength. Right now, the breath continues. Right now, the body is supported. Right now, you are still here. These simple realities anchor the mind. Each time worry pulls attention forward, gently returning to the present trains the mind to rest. This practice does not erase problems, but it changes the way we carry them. Kindness toward oneself is essential during hard times. Many people believe they must be strong by being harsh with themselves, but this only deepens suffering. Fear, sadness, and uncertainty are not weaknesses, they are human experiences. Speaking to oneself with patience and understanding creates inner safety. A compassionate mind does not panic as easily. It allows emotions to pass without judgment, making space for healing. Hardship also has the power to refine wisdom. Difficult moments strip away distractions and reveal what truly matters. They teach humility, endurance, and empathy for others who suffer. When worry arises, instead of seeing it as an enemy, it can be viewed as a signal calling for awareness. Asking what this experience is, Teaching encourages growth rather than despair. Pain then becomes a teacher rather than a prison. To worry less in hard times does not mean becoming fearless or emotionally numb. It means learning to stand steady even when the ground feels unstable. By recognizing the nature of worry, accepting reality, trusting impermanence, releasing control, returning to the present, and practicing compassion, inner peace becomes possible. Life may still challenge you, but within you there can be a quiet strength that no hardship can take away. Acceptance reduces suffering, resisting reality increases pain, while accepting the present situation softens the heart and weakens worry. Impermanence brings perspective. Hard times and painful emotions are temporary. Remembering this helps prevent despair from taking over. Let go of the need for control. Peace grows when we focus on what we can influence and release what lies beyond our control. Self-compassion and presence calm the mind. Returning to the present moment and treating oneself with kindness creates inner stability during difficult times.